Hello YouTubers, yes that's right, it's me Steve, and as Ralph said, this is my bass rig. It's a big one, Trace Elliot. You can't get better, and I've played and demoed every rig you could buy. Ampeg SVTs, rubbish. Mark bass, rubbish, you can't get a tone out of them, they're not loud enough, and they lie about the power they produce. They're all underrated. All of them except for Trace. They lie about the power too, but in the other way. You see, Trace amps are always louder than they stated. This particular one is 1200 watts. That's 1200 watts RMS. And that's important when you play the settings I do, and when you've got an arsehole that plays a messer and makes a lot of racket. It's not as big as Ralph said, obviously, no. But it hasn't got the girth, but it has got the width, which is important, I think, in a head. This is the last decent amp Trace Elliot ever produced, and it's not one I'm ever going to be changing. It's running 4 10-inch speakers, 2 15s. It does produce a lot of power. It also weighs a massive amount, and everybody hates Trace gear because it weighs so much, but it sounds planted and it sounds solid, and it does the business like nothing else. It's got more tonal control and variety than anything on the market. It's not one you can mess about with, and it's what you need in your life. If you're going to buy a bass amp, don't buy anything other than a Trace. Get a second-hand one, get any Trace, it will be wonderful. And as we're a 3-piece and we need to have a fairly big sound, I've got a cover sometimes, which essentially means that I'll run through a POG, which is a polyoctave generator, for all you people out there in don't know land. And essentially what that does is it sends an octave higher signal through a vast variety of pedals, which you might be able to see lying around on the floor. The weapon of choice is the LTD. It's an f414 FM. It's no longer available. It's beautiful. It's chosen specifically because it's a through neck. Ultimate sustain, incredible. It's EMG, so it's active, it's hot rodded, it runs 18 volt, not 9, always better. Better for controlling the sub frequencies, which most won't, there's this pick on the floor, which most basses won't do.